Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy GM, and I have finished and completed Kingdom Hearts 3. I must say, what a journey it was. Wow. Okay, completed, that's a big word because, I just completed the main storyline along with gathering all the emblems so I can get the secret ending. But yeah, I got like the most important stuff and also the ultimate weapon, which was a monumental pain in the ass to get. But you know what? This is Kingdom Hearts, and it wouldn't be as it is if it wasn't a little bit challenging. So I'm glad I went through this. But story wise, wow, this was what 15 years of closing, I believe, uh, since the first title of Kingdom Hearts that was released back on PlayStation 2. And back then, I never believed that Disney and Square Enix put together would work. Like the first time I've heard about Kingdom Hearts, I was like, please, that's not gonna work. Like Disney and Square Enix, come on, that's not gonna work. That's gonna flop. So a friend of mine who was a real he was a real crackhead when it comes to RPGs, and he told me, Greg, yeah, I've got to try this. It's a hit. And then I finally bought it, the first Kingdom Hearts, and I was blown away. I think that on the first try, I ended up playing like um, 5 hours in a row. So just to tell you that sometimes you can be wrong about some stuff. Never judge a book by its cover. But anyways, back to Kingdom Hearts 3. Um, Such an amazing journey. Look, the worlds that were there, the Disney worlds. Um, wow, there's not one that I would say that is my favorite over the rest of them because they were all unique and special in each different ways. So picking one wouldn't be enough. I love all of them in every different ways. Look, I had fun memories exploring them. So great storytelling by revealing at the same time the way the movies inspired from those worlds were created. So yeah, it was a graphically speaking, this game was a masterpiece as well because it was well detailed, very few lagging, like if not no lagging at all. At least from my point of view, from my experience playing this game, I experienced zero lagging, like at all. Like I played through the game in perfect shape. So like I would give this game a solid 9 out of 10. Actually, 9.5 out of 10 because that secret ending really was a mind fuck, and like it was my WTH moment. But yeah, the story was amazing. The conclusion with Xehanort and his last stand against the Guardian of Light, and well, more like us against Xehanort, um, facing for Kingdom Hearts, and it was wonderful. It was magnificent. The battle, the story behind that, and the fact that Xehanort, he's not the average typical bad guy who wants to conquer the world and I want to plunge the world into total darkness. No, he wasn't like that. And I mean, if you know your Kingdom Hearts lore, he discovered that after the Keyblade War, the world was plunged into darkness, and the fact that human and from that darkness, light was born, and from those lights, there were hearts that were born from the people, and people, you know, they have a they had a heart, but at the same time, if those hearts were weak, they would crave power, and they would at the same time be corrupted, at least some of them, and plunge the world. And they could. There was a chance that the world could be plunged into darkness. So Xehanort wanted that to stop. He wanted to create a world, a perfect world that wouldn't succumb to darkness. And of course, Sora was like, it's not up to you to decide. I mean, if you are a true leader, you will know that you can't change or you can't change destiny, and you would have to accept that and just stand up and fight when needed. So, look, seriously, there's a lot of moral lessons to learn from this game. Other than the beautiful ending, I feel like this game also gave great closure for so many characters: Axel, Roxas, Ventus, Terra, Aqua. Um, I mean, those guys had it rough. They went through hell and back. Aqua in particular, because she spent a decade in darkness, waiting for someone to get her. And sorry, and she made it. Like Mickey and Riku and Sora, they managed to pull her out of this. And look, it was really amazing. Like the fact that she was able to get out of this, that's amazing. Like surviving this kind of darkness, that's applaudable because she is a very strong character that I really admire. And look, props to her. Terra, same thing. Being Xehanort's bitch, that was awful for him. Being possessed all this time, and yet, even though he was shrouded deep into darkness, he still saved his friends, uh, Van and Aqua. So seriously, their reunion was just beautiful to see. It was like it. People were waiting for that. It had to happen, and it did happen, and it was beautiful. Speaking of reunion, Shion, like of all the characters, I thought that this character was done after Bird by Sleep. Like I would have never thought that she would come back, and yet she did, and it makes sense because the Organization 13 still needed a Keyblade wielder, and of course, who better than Shion? But I would never thought that she would have been resurrected. That for me that was a quite a great surprise. But again, the reunion between her, Axel, and Roxas, another beautiful moment. It had to happen. It did, and wonderful. It was a heartwarming moment for these three to be together again and to finally have their own lives to live, to do as they see fit. Just like at the ending, you see everybody on the Destiny Islands having fun and being able to live free as they want. It was a beautiful moment for me. I know that I still want to talk about Sora and Kyrie, but I'll get back at that later on. I want to focus right now on Lucio and the Lost Masters. Okay, Lucio, aka Zigbar. Wow, like this was my WTH moment of the entire game. Like this, if there was a moment that deserved a mindfuck award, this was the moment when he revealed himself to be the sixth apprentice of the Masters of Masters. Uh, okay, first of all, Masters of Masters, if you know your Kingdom Heart lore, he's the guy who started this whole thing, like since Kingdom Heart Union Cross. Look, this guy is shady as fuck, and sooner or later, I know that in the next title of Kingdom Hearts, we're gonna get to discover what is his real ambitions in this whole thing. But anyways, going back to Lucio, this guy, wow. Uh, when he summoned the Foretellers, aka the Lost Masters, minus Ava, I was surprised to see Ira, Ace, Envy, and Gula back. summoned by Zigbard, aka again Lucio. Um, what I'm wondering is, did he snap those four guys at a time? Like, did he brought them back to life? Because in my point of view, the way I saw it, these four died in the Keyblade War, and I'm guessing that Ava, after her role, went into a hiding or something like that, or she grew of old age. I do believe that Ava is alive, but what happened to her, that's gonna be a mystery. But needless to say, I can guarantee you that in the next installment of Kingdom Hearts, she is bound to meet with Sora. But going back to the Lost Masters, these four, I'm wondering, have they been brought back to life? Have they been pulled out of the timeline of the past? Um, to be honest, the way I see it, it could be both. Maybe history records that they all died, but maybe um, Luciu might have pulled them out of their timeline in the past before they died, making them look as if they died in the Keyblade War. So it could be possible that uh, Lusu was able to do that. I mean, this guy, look, again, this guy was the mindfuck moment. No, no, the mindfuck revelation of the game. So many is left to discover about this enigmatic character and the chess that Maleficent and her partner was looking for. I forgot his name. Sorry. That black box. Well, we know what box they were looking for. So yeah, what's next for these fives? If you remember, at the ending, we see Heracles and Xehanort, the younger self, playing chess, but this time they're playing a new game, and you see um, Xehanort having seven pieces of black, and he's questioning them, and all those guys have the symbols of the emblems of the foretellers, and one of them must belong to Luciu and the Masters of Masters, the Master of Masters. Sorry. So I'm guessing that in the next game these are gonna be these seven entities will be playing an important part against Sora, who is the pawn of light, and probably he's gonna have six or seven others comrades to fight this new threat. Because in the first 15 years or so of Kingdom Hearts, we were battling the Seeker of Darkness, the Heartless, the Nobodies, and all that. So we are like we're closing a chapter of this whole thing, and we are opening a new one. So right now, the next threat is the Master of Masters, but we still don't know who he is or she. Who knows? I think it's a he, but you never know. What is the goal that he has? Again, Luciu, what is his plan in this? How come Ava's not there? So many questions remain unanswered. But needless to say, I think that uh, in the next installments of Kingdom Hearts, the Lost Masters, along with Luciu and the Master of Masters, which makes six, I believe. Wait, yeah, six figures, I believe. These and probably plus one, maybe Ava, but we don't know that. I don't think Ava is gonna be able to join these guys ever again if she's alive. But yeah, needless to say, Luciu, Master of Masters, and the four Lost Masters, these are gonna be the next threat in the next installment of Kingdom Hearts. Installments, actually, because we're gonna be served with more than one, that's for sure. But um, I feel like the Lost Masters are gonna be manipulated into believing that the Master of Masters is is doing what is doing is right. Like they're gonna be played a little bit, believing that this guy is doing the right thing, but it's probably gonna be discovered later on. But again, this is just my theory. I think that I think they're just gonna be played at the end of the day because if you remember back in Kingdom Hearts, Union Cross, even though they were suspecting that there was a traitor among them, which I believe it was just the Master of Masters playing tricks on them. Um, I do believe that these guys are very noble and wise, despite the Keyblade War. So I believe that the Master of Masters will be playing puppeteers with the Lost Masters. And these guys will believe everything that he has to say because, hey, he's the master and he can't be wrong and he's the guy that we must trust. So, yeah. Now, the secret ending. Now, that one as well was a mind fucker. Sorry for cursing that much. The ending really left me with so many unanswered questions, and I know I am not the only one, obviously. Um, Back in the Toy Story world, there was this game inside of it that Rex was excited about, Verum Rex. And of course, if any of you guys are familiar with the Final Fantasy franchise, you know that when you saw the animation, the promo animation for this game, it looked awfully a lot like the scrap game that never saw the day of light, Final Fantasy Versus 13. Like, it's too good to be true. And we know that well, at least the major element of this scrap game, Final Fantasy Versus 13, later became Final Fantasy 15. And Verum Rex, that is Latin for true king. And if you've played Final Fantasy 15, you know that Noctis is a prince and he is fighting to reclaim his throne from Arden, his uncle, a distant uncle or whatever. And he's trying to bring light to the world and by claiming the throne as the true king. So, needless to say, here's the thing that really bothered me a little bit. If in Kingdom Hearts 3, the semi-animation sequence, you know, even at that level, they were well animated. It wasn't like the animated movies inside the game. Like the semi-animation, they were well done. So, from my point of view, like, why spend so many details into making a perfectly animated scene for a fictional game inside of a game? So for me, it was a little bit far-fetched and weird that Square Enix would do that. And here's the thing that I came to discover. Well, at least this is what I think. I believe that this world of Verum Rex, first of all, it is very influenced from our reality, and we even get a glimpse of a real life location in Japan, Shibuya, and Riku, where he is standing, he sees a tall building, and that is an actual building in Japan. That is a government building, I believe. But anyways, going back to Square Enix and the intention behind Verum Rex, I believe that in the next installment of Kingdom Hearts, perhaps Kingdom Hearts 4, there's going to be a world named Verum Rex. My question is, are we gonna get a game actually called Verum Rex? My answer to this, no, we're not. I think that we're just gonna explore this game, and I quote this game, inside Kingdom Hearts. One thing that I noticed about Kingdom Hearts 3, there were a lot of Disney worlds. If not, I think that 90% of the worlds were just Disney based. What if in the next installment that we get fewer Disney worlds, but more Square Enix inspired worlds like Verum Rex. And I think that this could happen because if you notice in Kingdom Hearts 3, popular Final Fantasy characters such as Cloud, Sephiroth, Tifa, and the others that we've seen, they were totally absent compared to Kingdom Hearts 2, where we saw a lot of them. So I'm guessing that some of these characters might come back in the next installment of Kingdom Hearts. But for now, all I can say is Verum Rex is gonna be a new world. Like I think it's gonna be a new world that we're gonna explore in the next installment, Kingdom Hearts 4. Um, what is the deal with Yozora? That it was the name of the movie, which means night sky. Seriously, there's many mysteries. So I think that it's just gonna be he's gonna be a protagonist in this world that we're gonna explore within Kingdom Hearts 4, probably. Now, the next mystery figure that we saw in this world, another hooded character in black, dressed like one of the members of the organization. I do believe that this character is the master of masters. We saw at the end that he formed, like we saw the moon that was full circled, and we know that in each world there is a heart-shaped moon, meaning that Kingdom Hearts is there. So I believe that this character, the master of of masters, he wants to create a Kingdom Hearts in this world. So how is he gonna do that? I don't know. But needless to say, whatever is in that box, it's gonna be useful to make that happen. Because I think that among all the worlds that we've explored, this one is like close to reality, like from our reality. And by the way, speaking of reality, we see there is a part of this trailer, of this movie, where we see a board with the number 104, and that part is similar to the Shibuya we've seen inside the game. The world ends with you. So look, it could be possible that this this world could be a mix of the world ends with you and Verum Rex. Like it'll be a mix of those two. But needless to say, it's gonna be Square Enix inspired. That's for sure. Yeah. So the Master of Masters, he wants to create Kingdom Hearts in this very realistic world. Speaking of that, how in the world did Sora and Riku got there? Okay, here's my theory about this. Mickey, at the end of Kingdom Hearts, Sora wanted to go look after Kairi after she was killed by Xehanort. He wanted to use the power of waking to bring her back. Of course, Mickey told him that if you keep using that, there's going to be consequences. But of course, they had to let him go because he was dead convinced to go look after her. My guess is he abused that power to bring back Kairi, and maybe that created some sort of how can I say this? Some sort of a portal between space and time. Like we know that time travel is possible in Kingdom Hearts, so it won't be surprising that by abusing of this power, Sora might have opened a breach in space and time and got into this world. And of course, Riku, worried about him, decided to go look for him, and he also ended there. But it's a bit mysterious on how Riku got there. Could it be possible that he too has the power of awakening? It's possible, but it needs to say how these two got there. I don't know. This is just my theory about this. So it's gonna be very complicated to see what's gonna happen next in the next Kingdom Hearts games. I think that for the next 10 years we're gonna be served. That is for sure. The last thing I want to touch is Sora and Kairi. I love how this game, Kingdom Hearts 3, really put some emphasis on their relationship. Back in Kingdom Hearts 1, the sole reason why Sora went into the adventure of being a Keyblade wielder and fighting darkness, it was to save Kairi. When he realized later on that her heart was within him the whole time. Their relationship between those two, like they have been close since they were kid. Back in Kingdom Hearts 1, it was already implied that Sora had some feelings for her. You know, it wasn't like official, but it was clear that he wanted to be closer to Kyrie. And like we saw at the first one of the not to say game, but one of the first game that we played with Riku was a race, and the wage of that race, the winner would grab I think it was a that star shaped fruit, a papaya or something like that, and there was a legend about this fruit that whoever, if you share this fruit with somebody else, then you are destined to be with that person forever. Riku challenged Sora to that race, and the winner would share that fruit with Kairi. And whether you win this race or not, Riku lets you share that fruit with Kairi. And we know at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, Kairi is inside the cavern where Sora drew a picture of these two sharing a star-shaped fruit, and Kairi completed that thing as well. And after that she cries, missing him already, and this shows obvious proof that she really cares for him, and not just as a best friend or a brotherly figure. Like there's a good connection between those two. And back in Kingdom Hearts 2, when Kairi was reunited with Sora, she did not hesitate to hug him, like showing that she really missed him. And of course, Sora hugged her back. And even at the ending of this game, we saw, the reflection of Roxas and Namine within those two figures, and showing their connection between each other. And finally, in Kingdom Hearts 3, this was really evident, even though we haven't seen much of action from Kairi herself. Those special moments between Sora and Kairi, those were just touching, emotional. Even when Sora was overcome by darkness and was able to reconstruct himself to find the others and use the power of awakening to wake the others up, you see Sora and Kairi traveling through darkness embedded in light. And Sora admits that I'm strong with you, Kairi. And again, this is another proof that how much they care about each other. And Kairi said it more than once that she wants to be part of Sora's life. And again, another implication that it's more than just as a friend. Like there's really a deep emotional connection between those two. And it's the ending that really broke my heart. And when Sora decides to go look for Kairi, and everybody's at the beach on Destiny Island, and you see Sora and Kairi sitting on that branch, gazing at the sunset and holding hands. And it's just that they're not just holding hands like as friends or something like that. Like it's really intimate. Like it's really beautiful. But when I saw Kairi shedding a tear, man, that really broke my heart, because when I saw the fading figure of Sora, so that means that he's gone. Like he hasn't returned yet. So what happened on that? I can say that maybe, just maybe, Sora managed to save Kairi. Like Kairi was able to be brought back, but at the price of Sora being into another world. And when I'm saying another world, I'm talking about the Veron Rex world, or the one of The World Ends With You, or a little mesh of those two. But anyways, like Sora is officially in another world, and maybe that was the price of overusing the power of awakening. But yeah, that beautiful scene between Sora and Kairi, Look, that tear she shed, that is not a tear you, well, of course it is a tear you shed for someone that is close to you. And I'm not saying that she doesn't care about Riku or her other friends. It's just that the moment that the way she is next to Sora, looking at the sunset, and really yearning to have him at her side again, it says it all. And I'm glad that Kingdom Hearts 3 finally put a conclusion, but not a conclusion, but the truth about the relationship. They really love each other. And even Sora said it at the end of Kingdom Hearts before going to save her, to look for her. He said that, the whole point of me going to that journey was to look for her. And every time that I find her, I lose her again. That's the kind of thing that you say for someone that you love, like love deeply. Seriously, it was good that Kingdom Hearts 3 really bloomed this relationship into what it is, into just two people that love each other. And it was really wonderful. And honestly, I hope in the next game that we're going to explore even more about this relationship between Kyrie and Sora. So, anyways, so that's pretty much it for what I had to say. I really, really enjoyed this game. I cannot wait for what's next. Look, I ain't gonna go explore the internet every single day for any updates. But considering that the game was just released in February, we're not gonna get anything new from the higher ups in Square Enix. Like, you know that these guys are already working on the next installment, but for 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 what it seems for us, we're gonna wait a long time. Like, these guys are gonna be very lip sealed about what's to come. But needless to say, it's a chapter that just ended with Kingdom Hearts, but now we're starting a new one, and I can't wait. Seriously. So tell me your thoughts about this, about everything that I just talked about. Um, Look, tell me all about your theories. What do you think happened to Sora? How did he got to this other world? In the Yozora movie, was it really the Master of Masters, or maybe it was Lucio? Um, Tell me your thoughts about this. Look, please, let's talk about this. And guys, I'll catch you guys later. So in the meantime, please do me a favor for your homeboy. Take care of yourselves. See ya.